Hi ladies and gentlemen, back again. Basketball Chronicles 156. This one's too easy and too simple and too whatever, but for whatever reason I decided I wanted to do it. I live in, I guess what you call a mid-Atlantic state, and this is sort of the time of year when we get lots of hurricanes. Now here's my question. I mean, you know, we know we get hurricanes, we get them every year. Here's my question. If I were a Christian, and you know, as I understand Christians, you know, you believe in God and this, that, and the other, what would I be thinking when this hurricane is bearing down on us? A couple of weeks ago we had one. Thankfully, thank God, it didn't hit us, but you know, it could have, and it got pretty darn close. So here's my question: if there are any Christians out there watching this, well, I doubt that there are, but I hope there are. Let me try and pretend like I'm a Christian. Whatever that means. Okay. So the hurricane is coming down, you know, it's headed toward me. Now, if I'm what I would call a real Christian, whatever that means, I would imagine that I think God's all-powerful, He knows what we're thinking, He can do anything He wants, and so on and so forth. And also, I would believe in prayer, because if you search through the Bible, there are lots of places in there that says your prayers will be answered and so on and so forth. So I would imagine if I were a real Christian, my definition, that when the hurricane started heading for us, I would start praying, oh God, please don't let that hurricane get here, or some such prayer. And I'd pray over and over and over. Might even have a prayer group. Might even go to church. Hey, come on, open up. Let's all pray, you know. Like maybe more prayers will work, you know, will be heard than if there's only one little tiny prayer. Although supposedly it's my understanding God hears all prayers. Anyway. Now, when the hurricane hits and beats the hell out of you, your neighbor has a tree go through their house, the electricity is off for 3 or 4 weeks, and people are killed and injured, then what do I say to myself then? Wait a minute. You know, I asked God, I said, God, please don't let this happen. And God did. So, how do I rationalize that? What do I say? In other words, God, you didn't hear my prayer? When you're supposed to hear all prayers. You ignored my prayer? Why would He ignore my prayer? Have I done something bad lately? And if I've done something bad, should God ignore my prayer just because I've done something bad? Or maybe it isn't worthy? God, I mean, dang, what, you have bigger things to do? Come on. In other words, how do I rationalize that this horrible thing happened? My neighbors had their house destroyed. People in the community were killed. People were flooded out. All kinds of damage. And I prayed, and my prayer wasn't answered. So, do I still keep praying? Do I now start doubting whether there's a God or not? Or what, you know, what do I do? Or maybe God was testing us, you know? Have you heard that one before? I'm not sure how that one works, you know, the God was testing us. What's He going to do, like have a hurricane come down and beat the hell out of us to see, you know, how we react to that? Or just to show that He's got the big stick and He can use it any time He wants? So my question to you Christians is, when something happens like that, a hurricane, or some other horrible thing happens to you, family member is killed in a car crash or something like that, when you've prayed for that not to happen, or for all you poor people who have sons and daughters who are over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and you're praying for them, but yet they're still killed. How can you reconcile that? In other words, what happens? You either have to do one of two things. You either have to say, hey, come on, what's up with this God? Well, one of three things maybe. You say, this makes no sense. This does not make any sense. And you sort of leave the world of religion, for lack of a better word. Or you keep rationalizing it. That God had a purpose, but of course I just don't know what it is. There was a third thing, and I, daggone it, can't think of what that was. What was that third thing? Excuse me, maybe if I light a cigarette, I'll think what the third thing was. Daggone it. This is what happens when you get to be 71. Can't remember the third thing. Anyway, but I guess that's the question is how can you pray and be what people would call a good Christian and have bad things happen to you and you keep coming back to the trough? I don't understand that. It just seems like somewhere along the line you would say, wait a minute, who is this person who I'm praying to? On one hand, it's the most powerful person in the world who loves everybody, but on the other hand, he's out there allowing people to be killed or intentionally setting it up and killing them. I just don't get it. I mean, how can you reconcile all this stuff? You Christians out there, send me a note. Let me know. Anyway, as Pat Condell would say, peace, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.